West Bengal should logically be one of India's most important economic regions. It has a coastline, a major port system, direct access to the northeast, international borders with multiple countries, historic industrial infrastructure, and one of the most strategically valuable locations in Asia. And yet, for years, the projects that could transform the state have remained delayed, stuck, or trapped in political conflict.
Look at the case of Kolkata Metro. To complete the Kolkata Metro, we wanted to fast forward it, but the state government, TMC government, first they went to the High Court. When they lost the case in the High Court, they went to the Supreme Court to stop the metro project in Kolkata. I mean, that kind of approach towards development was something which was so visible.
After 15 years in power, the Trinamool Congress government has been voted out of office. And with that political shift, many of these long-stalled projects could finally begin moving. Here are 5 that could reshape Bengal's economy, connectivity, and strategic importance. Bengal's first major challenge is its long-delayed deep-sea port, or more accurately, its inability to decide which deep-sea port it actually wants to build. For decades, Kolkata's port system has struggled with a structural problem rooted in geography. Unlike Mumbai or Visakhapatnam, Kolkata port sits deep inside a river system, forcing ships to navigate shallow draft depths, heavy sedimentation, and constant dredging challenges. As global trade shifted toward larger container ships, this became an increasingly serious disadvantage. 2 competing visions emerged. The Sagar Port proposal gained momentum during the late UPA years and was later aggressively backed by the central government after 2014. A massive deep-sea facility near Sadar Island connected to freight corridors, highways, and industrial infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Bengal government pushed Tajpur Port as its own alternative along the East Midnapore coastline. Over time, the debate stopped being purely about infrastructure. It became political. 2 competing port visions backed by 2 competing power centers, producing years of uncertainty and paralysis. With a new government in place, that deadlock could finally end. A clear decision between Sagar and Tajpur would allow actual construction and long-term planning to begin after years of stagnation. Perhaps the clearest example of how political conflict slowed Bengal's infrastructure is freight connectivity. Over the past decade, India has been building the dedicated freight corridors, specialized railway networks designed exclusively for cargo movement. While much of the eastern dedicated freight corridor was completed across multiple states, major connectivity into Bengal and toward its port infrastructure remained delayed. The primary reason was land acquisition. The central government repeatedly accused the Bengal government of delaying the land transfers required for railway expansion and freight connectivity. As a result, Eastern freight integration remained incomplete just before reaching one of India's most strategically important port regions. The Kharagpur-Mogragram Economic Corridor, vital for cargo movement across southern Bengal, also moved slowly despite its importance. With a new government now aligned with the center, this bottleneck could finally begin clearing. And if these freight projects move forward together, Bengal could integrate properly into India's national logistics network for the first time.
Dedicated freight corridor, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की गति बढ़ाएंगे और समय भी बचाएंगे। तेजी से हो रहा ब्रॉड गेज परिवर्तन का काम नए-नए क्षेत्रों को रेलवे के मैप पर लेकर आ रहा है।
No project better illustrates Bengal's infrastructure paralysis than Kolkata's metro expansion. Across the city, unfinished pillars, incomplete stations, and near-ready metro corridors sit disconnected from the wider network. And in most cases, the delays were not engineering failures. They were the result of land acquisition disputes, rehabilitation issues, encroachments, pending approvals, and administrative conflicts between institutions that should have been working together. The Joka Esplanade Corridor is one example. Large sections were completed years ago, but key stretches towards central Kolkata remained delayed because land transfer and rehabilitation moved at a crawl. The new Garia to Airport corridor faced repeated holdups because traffic diversion approvals stayed pending for months. The Noapara to Barasat line became trapped in disputes involving thousands of encroachments and commercial structures. And the Baranagar to Barrackport corridor slowed after conflicts emerged over a pipeline relocation demand worth nearly 1,400 crore rupees. Individually, each sounds like a technical dispute. Together, they reveal something much larger. Bengal's infrastructure slowdown was rarely about a lack of funding. It was about administrative paralysis. With the new government in power, many of these approvals, land transfers, and coordination gaps could finally begin to move. Of all the projects on this list, the Sevoke-Rangpo railway line may be the most strategically critical. Even today, Sikkim has no direct railway connection to the Indian rail network. The Sevoke-Rangpo line is designed to change that, but building it is extraordinarily difficult. The route passes through fragile Himalayan terrain, requiring tunnels and bridges through landslide-prone mountains. Despite the engineering complexity, the strategic value is immense. The line would improve tourism, civilian connectivity, freight access, and military logistics near one of India's most sensitive border regions. But this is only part of a much larger railway story. According to official data, thousands of hectares of land required for railway projects across Bengal remain pending transfer. Multiple projects slowed simultaneously. New lines stayed incomplete, freight bypasses stalled midway, and doubling and third line projects designed to improve cargo movement sat delayed for years because land acquisition never fully progressed. In total, railway projects worth nearly 68,000 crore rupees are currently sanctioned in Bengal. With a politically aligned government now in power, many of these could begin accelerating together. The fifth item on this list isn't infrastructure. It's diplomacy. But its consequences are just as significant. For years, India has attempted to finalize a Teesta water sharing agreement with Bangladesh, one of its most important partners in Eastern South Asia. The agreement was expected to become a major diplomatic breakthrough as far back as the Manmohan Singh government. But because water sharing also required state-level political approval, opposition from the Bengal government effectively stalled it for years. The consequences extended well beyond river management. While India struggled to finalize long-pending regional agreements, China steadily expanded its infrastructure investments and strategic influence inside Bangladesh. Bengal's political deadlock, in other words, didn't just delay roads and metros. It affected India's geopolitical position in Eastern South Asia. With the new government more closely aligned with the center, reviving Teesta negotiations becomes a realistic possibility. Bengal's biggest problem was never geography. It already had the coastline, the rivers, the industrial legacy, and the strategic location. What it lacked was coordination. For the first time in 15 years, Bengal may have a government aligned closely enough with the center to unlock projects that have been trapped in political deadlock for over a decade. If even a fraction of these are completed, the impact will extend far beyond the state, reshaping trade, logistics, and connectivity across eastern India, and potentially altering the geopolitics of the entire region. This is no longer just a state election story. It is an infrastructure story, an economic story, and a geopolitical one. So which of these 5 projects do you think will have the biggest impact on West Bengal's future? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into infrastructure, economics, and geopolitics, subscribe to Periscope.